Hello subscribers. Today we are doing Nepal geography now. Everyone requested this, so here we go. I did a pause on raw bars, but I decided to come back with it when I'm ready, so you're just gonna have to wait a little bit more. I'll do more Nepali songs, but just not raw bars, because people don't seem to understand that you can have an opinion. And I never even bashed anyone. I wish I did, at least. Then the hate would be guaranteed. It's really weird. I cannot even have opinion about who won. What is the point of a reaction? I'm just not gonna share my opinion from now on when I react to Nepalese music. So I'm just gonna say it's good. And it was because I'm joking, of course. I'm not that type of person. We can start recording in 3, 2, 1, go.
You made a mistake. Buddha was not born in India. He was born in Lumbini, which is in Nepal.
To which many of the Indian subscribers were like,
Yeah, but Buddhist texts say he grew up in Kapilavatthu for the first 29 years of his life, which is probably in Piprahawa, which is like a half a mile away from the Nepali border.
Lies. Kapilavatthu is most likely in modern-day Talarika.
She's cute.
Okay, well, even if that was true, it was during the Mahajanapada era. Modern-day Nepal wasn't even established. So does it really count for Nepal?
Yes, it does.
yeah, this is kind of a big deal for them.
I don't know. I'm not Buddhist, so I don't know,
Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbs. Alright,
it
so
was
what
funny.
do you know about Nepal?
Mount Everest,
Not
right?
much.
Yep, keep going.
Sherpas.
Sure. Anything else?
Sherpas on Mount Everest.
And that's my cue to begin the lesson. Let's look at some maps now, shall we?
Hopefully it shows beauty
Nepal
of
is often
Nepal.
called the roof of the world. About 75% of the entire country is in the highest mountain chain on Earth. This
Oh, that's
means
so
They
cool.
have a very interesting civil layout. First of all, the country is landlocked, located in South Asia, sandwiched right
Yeah,
in between
I know
India and
that.
China, locked
Yes.
away predominantly
Read
within the
that.
Himalayan mountain range. The country is divided into 7 provinces, only 3 of which have actual names, whereas the remaining 4 are just called province with a corresponding number. Some of these
That's so
provinces have proposed
funny.
names, but as of 2019, they are not yet official. Number 4 is skipped because they gave Gandaki a name back in 2018 when it used to be Province 4.
Wait,
Ah.
so if 4 is gone now, why don't they just switch 5 to 4?
Paperwork is hard, plus it might get a new name soon anyway, so why bother? Keep in mind the province subdivision is relatively new. Up until 2015, they actually had 14 zones, which even though they were displaced, they are still used today for license plates. The capital, Kathmandu, is located in Province 3, although it is
Kathmandu.
not the capital of the province.
Oh, it's from that song. See? Whoever said rap doesn't teach you anything large.
Tuada is. The country's largest, busiest, and only international airport is Kathmandu's Tribhuvan International. However, to relieve capacity constraints due to high tourism, work is being done to extend and make 3 more international hubs: Nijgad, Pokhara, and Gautam Buddha Airport. Oh, and keep in mind they have the most dangerous airport in the world at Tenzing Hillary or Lukla Airport, in which the
Why?
runway runs off a cliff. So basically, if you don't build enough
No.
momentum in
Why
the
would you do
airport,
that?
you free fall to your Nobody could really touch them, and therefore they remained one of the few countries that were never colonized. Influenced,
so cool.
yes. Invaded, yes. But colonized, no. This, in return, has
Good
made
job.
Nepal's land transport network very unique. Multiple roads enter into Nepal from India and China, but if you want to get to the economic hub, Kathmandu, you have to go into the heart of the mountains, and your options are limited only to a few main highways, like the HO2 from Raksao, India, and the HO3, which goes into Jangmujen, Tibet, China. If you look closely in the west, though, you'll find Nepal's only disputed area, the Kalapani territory. Basically, it was a byproduct of the 1962 border war with India and China. Things got messy, and to this day, Nepal claims that the river to the west should be their border, but India claims that the ridgeline to the east should be theirs. Well, for what it's worth, though, there are tons of cool places to check out in case you decide to
Everyone
such as
fights about
Annapurna
borders.
National History Museum, Narayanati Palace, the city of
Ooh,
Pokhara is kind of like
pretty.
the tourism capital, the island jungle resort of Chitwan, the
Oh,
tiger
that's
tops, the
also
elephant
pretty.
polo field,
Oh, everything's
Two-Egg
pretty.
Tree, the Aircrafts
What?
Museum, so many religious sites like these temples, the Rongbuk Monastery,
Oh,
and
that's so
probably the most
pretty. I
notable
wish I
sites
could
being
visit.
Lumbini, the birthplace of Buddha, and Buddhanath Stupa. Whew, yeah, lots of things were built and happened
That's-
here in
the
the
last
mountains.
thing was
Mountains
very
make a great
beautiful.
fortification against outside forces, especially when they are really tall. Let's talk more about the mountains, shall we?
Okay?
Now, how can I put this simply? Nepal's physical land makeup is kind of like the share price of Apple's stock in the beginning of the 2000s. You know, it's like First of all, Nepal is located right at the start of the Himalayan mountains, the tallest range on Earth, which was basically formed by the Indian tectonic plate smashing into the Eurasian plate. The collision is still occurring to this day, which means that the Himalayas grow about 2.4 inches or 6.1 centimeters every
I didn't
year.
know
This
that.
means that every new person to reach the summit temporarily becomes a world record holder. Obviously,
so
you
cool.
all know the highest point can be found here too, Mount Everest, or Sagarmatha, the tallest mountain in the world, shared with China at nearly 9,000 meters high. Keep in mind, 8 of the 10 tallest mountains in the world are actually found in Nepal as well.
Oh, that's
Also,
so
keep
cool.
in mind, due to the tectonic plate convergence, the country is subject to occasional earthquakes. One of the most well-documented
Oh, I
ones
hate
being 7.8
earthquakes.
magnitude
I never
earthquake, with
experienced an
aftershocks hitting
earthquake.
The capital, destroying ancient sites back in 2015. In
that's
addition, it
sad.
triggered an avalanche on Mount Everest, killing 21 people, making it
Oh,
the
I'm so
deadliest thing in
sorry.
Mount Everest history. The Himalayas are just one of 3 regions of the country, though. Below the Himalayan region lies the Pahad, a lower mountain region in the green zone that generally does not get snow and fosters fertile valleys and rivers. Below this is the final region, the Tarai, the lowest point in Nepal, located in the greater Gangetic plain that extends into northern India and Bangladesh. The lowest actual point being Kichana of the Jaffa district. After China, this makes Nepal one of the countries with the widest range of elevations on Earth. This is
that's
also
so
where most of
cool.
the agriculture and produce are grown, as it is the most fertile region, fed by countless rivers and their
Oh, yeah,
tributaries that are
because it's
sourced
the
by the
lowest
snowmelt
point.
from the Himalayas. The longest of these rivers, the Gagara, can be found in the west, as well as the largest lake, Rara. Nonetheless,
I like
Bhagirathi
the
River
names,
is very long,
Rara.
as it passes through Kathmandu, and the Gandak River contains the largest hydroelectric dam, and the Koshi River provides irrigation to much of the
Oh,
valley's
too much
east.
information at once.
Mountains, rivers, lakes, valleys, earthquakes, agriculture. It seems like
They
nature's
have
been
it all
playing
in
around
such
with
a
Nepal
small
since
country.
day one. Alright, so that being said, it's time for my triple shot of espresso break. It's time for me to stop talking, but you know who knows a few things?
Did somebody say Noah?
He's
Who is
back!
this?
Now, Nepal may have a lot of natural beauty, but the problem is they still have quite a way.
Will you choose?
Hi, I'm the Western agency that speaks your language and caters to all your Western needs. You'll even wake up to eggs and toast with coffee in the morning. My minimum rate goes around.
Oh my god. You guys are so rude, because a lot of you guys have told me to come to Nepal. Like, are you kidding me? I could never.
Hi, I'm
I could buy
Nepali
2
agency.
houses
I
here
have a slight accent when
for
I
that
talk,
money.
and the experience might be a little rough around the edges, but you'll still get to the peak of Everest. I charge only $25,000.
So which one will you choose?
Not
man?
acceptable for
Can I
me.
just hire a helicopter for a couple $100s?
So far, only one person has ever done that, and it's incredibly dangerous. Besides that, though, 40% of the country is forested. They have 9 national parks and 3 wildlife reserves. Nonetheless, the national animal is the cow. No surprise, the country is predominantly Hindu, which reveres cows
Cute
as
cows.
sacred animals. Many people are either vegetarian or only eat chicken and fish. Speaking
I
of
like
which,
chicken
food.
and
Now, there are many different
I don't like cow to eat, so that's good. If I ever come, that would be good, because I'm not a big fan of cow or pork, so, or anything else than chicken. Some fish, but mostly chicken.
people groups that have their own cuisines in Nepal, and they come in
Oh, that
all
looks
different
delicious.
colors and tastes. Some of the top dishes you guys, Dragon People suggested, include things like dindo, gundruk, dal bas takari, takali kanaset, choila, chachila, chatamari, Nepali style pani.
Oh, that looks good.
chana,
That looks like a...
And the one dish almost all of you mentioned, momo dumplings.
Oh, yeah.
Now these dishes I just mentioned came from the cuisines of the many different people groups you can find.
That is similar
Nepal
to
is just not
Chinese,
Nepal without its people. Which brings
dumplings.
us to
Which I never tried, because we don't have anything
Thank
here.
you, Noah. Follow him on Instagram.
no problem. So you tried to film without Noah last episode, huh?
Sorry.
I know a few things. I like that.
Guys.
Cute fun.
Now, one thing many people don't seem to know too well is that Nepal is actually a very diverse nation with over 120 ethno-linguistic people groups. First
I
of
knew
all,
that.
the country has about 30 million people and about 2 million
Oh, I didn't know
absentee
they have so
citizens
many.
working abroad, mostly male laborers in the Middle East. Of these ethnic groups, the largest one at about 17% are the Chetri, followed by
Chetri.
about 12% Brahmin Hill peoples, the Magar at 7%, Taru at an additional 7%, and the rest
Very
are made up
interesting
of various
names.
121 other people groups. They use the Nepali rupee as their currency, which is pegged to the Indian rupee. They use a type C, D, and M plug outlets, and they drive on the left side of the road.
Why
Now,
was that
linguistically,
relevant?
How does a country unify 125 different ethno-linguistic people groups? Well, for one, the official language of Nepal is Nepali, a cousin of Hindi, natively spoken by about 45% of the population. To simplify things, though, English is sort of used as like a lingua franca in government offices, businesses, and also within the technical
Yeah,
medical, and
I can
engineering
tell.
scientific community. Now, here's the thing. As mentioned before, the majority of Nepal, at about 81% of the country, identifies as Hindu. Nonetheless, even though it's a minority religion at about 10%, Nepal takes Buddhism very seriously. It kind of started here.
I thought that it was mainly Buddhist. I don't know why, but because he was talking about India and Nepal, like fighting over where the Buddha was born, I thought that there were gonna be more Buddhists, but apparently not. Apparently they're just very energetic. So yeah, very interesting religion.
Now, of course, since there are so many different people
I mean, every religion that's not mine is interesting to me.
In general, though, most of them can be divided into 7 family groups that cluster into certain regions. You have
I
the
cannot
mountainous
read that.
Bhotia, Sherpa, and Takali peoples, way up in the northern Himalayan zones. Yes, this is where the word Sherpa comes from. Then you have the Gurung peoples, whom are kind of like the famous bodyguards of Nepal. Many Gurung are Gurkhas, an elite military-trained contingent force that fights for hire. Today, a couple
Kind of
thousand
pretty,
actually work for
guys.
the
I
British
mean, not
military.
pretty,
And there's
but
the
you know.
Kiranti, Rai, and Limbu peoples of
pretty.
the east. These people are actually culturally close
Why
to
is everyone
Sikkim
so
and the Bhutanese
pretty?
people. They speak a similar Tibeto-Burman language. At about 3/5 of the population, the Pahari peoples are actually the largest and most widespread people group inhabiting
Hi.
many of the lowlands. They are known for being heavily agrarian and having wonderfully colorful wool and woven fabrics. The Tamang are made up of about 40 clans scattered in the center and east highlands.
think
They are
I
also
think-
Tibeto-Burman and
I think I was watching a documentary about them, but I'm not sure. So I'm not gonna say what I know about them because I'm not sure it's them.
way more with culture, though. In the shortest way I can put it, you kind of see like this interesting Indian-Tibetan influence fusion with Nepal. And
Yes.
here's Random Hannah to explain.
Amongst all these groups, certain traditions
like
are
her
shared
nose.
universally, and most are either rooted in Hinduism or Buddhism or both. The Himalayas are in themselves considered the abode of Lord Shiva, and the Hindu god plays a huge role here. Many Nepalese follow a deep-rooted tantric tradition of Hinduism or Buddhism, which allows 5 animals for ritual sacrifice. Every town has a jatra, or celebration of main god or goddess, usually followed with a procession of the
Interesting.
statue around the town. The 15-day-long festival of Dashin is
That's right.
celebrated by everyone in the country. It's a huge deal. Many of you have also mentioned the Kumari, little
I know
girls that are
Kumari.
worshipped as
I know.
living god.
I know this. This I know I watched. This little girl, oh my god. Oh. I respect tradition, but I don't know how I feel about little girls not walking like people just carrying them so their feet doesn't touch the ground. People praying to them or something like that, if I remember correctly. But it was kind of bizarre for me, but very interesting and very beautiful girls. Oh.
Goddesses until they hit puberty and the Kumari changes.
Yes.
And like many other South
But I feel bad for them because they don't learn stuff that they need for life. When they stop being Kumari, like they don't have any knowledge or education. I think that most of them don't get educated, so that's kind of sad. Because I watched older Kumari who was done being Kumari, and she didn't have a job or anything because she couldn't find it because she didn't have any education.
countries, marriages
Sad.
are usually arranged and celebrated with lavish, colorful
Oh
weddings.
no, I
And
hate
speaking of
that.
which, that brings us to history. Thank you, Hannah. I'll take it from here. In the quickest way I can put it, Kathmandu Valley Neolithic Age. Early records of Nepal mentioned in the Vedic Hindu texts. Kirati King period. Clans and small kingdoms period. This prince guy becomes a big shot. Vassal states under these empires. Malla Kingdom state period. This dude pieced it all together in what would become modern-day Nepal. Anglo-Nepali War. Treaty of Sugali. Khat massacre. Slavery abolished in 1924. Years of drama between the
Wow.
royals and the democratic experiments. Massacre in the royal palace. New inherited king steps down, ending Nepal's title as the last Hindu kingdom in the world. Unified Communist Party wins most seats in the assembly elections. Earthquake. First female president voted in. And here we are today. Now keep in mind,
Communist?
the ruling party is called the Communist Party, and they do hold Marxist-Leninist tenets in their policy.
Oh, no.
The country is not classified as a communist country, at
Good.
least in the traditional unilateral sense, but rather a parliamentary republic in which the parliament has power over the head of state.
That's
Even though
good.
The parliament is predominantly part of the Communist Party, but yeah, still, it is the only country with a communist majority that is not categorically communist. Weird. Anyway, here's some famous people from Nepal. Historical figures like Amshu Verma, Princess Prikuti, Sankadar Sakwa, Araniko, Bahadur Shah. Contemporary figures like Bhimsen Thapa, Lakshmi Prasad Devkota, Jamaki Miri, Amrita Acharya,
How
Tenzin
pretty.
Norgay, Gopal Prasad, Anil Gurung, Gaurika Singh, Dachiri Sherpa, Sandeep Lamichane, Prabal Gurung, Chandra
Oh, he's
Bahadur
handsome.
Dangi, David Lama, and of course,
I know that little guy.
Gautama, otherwise known as the Buddha. All right,
The
well, that just
Buddha.
about does it for the
He's
people.
famous.
Now let's see what other people like like to hang out with Nepal, or at least climb up the mountains. Shall we? Now, Nepal has always kind of had like this very unique position in diplomatic policy. I mean, they're locked away in a very remote and rugged area on the planet, yet hold the key to so many international links. For one, even though about 10% of their country is Buddhist, other Buddhist countries like Thailand, Myanmar, and Cambodia love Nepal. Often people from these countries will take pilgrimage trips to see holy sites, especially
because they have such a beautiful
Bhutan is kind
culture
of like
and
the only
beautiful
Buddhist country that they
sightings.
kind of have a little beef with. There was controversy over the expulsion of Nepali Lhotshampa residents back in the 90s as a means to preserve their Bhutanese culture. But today things are somewhat cooled off a bit, but there's a little bit of eye rolling.
This is so funny.
Best friends, yeah, most
Nepal kind of looks, when he puts the eyes on it, it looks like an alligator that's about to eat this other country up.
Nepalese people will probably say India or China, but it's weird because they can never have
Yeah,
the
it's
same
pretty.
two best friends in the same room. China
Oh,
is
yeah.
really trying hard to win over Nepal, and things only got better after the recent Communist Party took over and ended the kingdom rule. Traditionally, Nepal has always had close ties and trade with Tibet. Chinese people love Nepalese art and architecture. Tourists
Yeah,
flock
very
over in
pretty.
droves, and China has been heavily investing in Nepal's transport sector
That's
with more
good.
roadways and even a train line connecting Lhasa to Kathmandu, making it one of the biggest potential engineering project endeavors the country has ever seen. For
Cool.
India, most people will say, we love Indians, but we hate their government. Most foreign activity and trade comes through India, and most people can understand Hindi. They love Bollywood films, and the shared link through Hinduism has always kept these two very close. Nonetheless, India knows that Nepal depends greatly on them, and sometimes when things get a little messy, they initiate economic blockades, which anger them. Usually when this
That's bad.
happens, Nepal cozies up with China a little bit more, in which India notices, and
That's
they're
cool.
like, babe, I'm sorry, come back to me. I was just
Oh,
kidding."
this is
Nonetheless,
such a
when those
funny,
two
like,
giants are
dialogue.
bickering, Nepal kind of likes to run away off to the side and have a secret Romeo and Juliet kind of thing going on with Bangladesh. Many times when they want to go to the ocean, instead
That's so
of using
cute.
India's Kolkata port, they'll opt for Chittagong. Many Nepalese students study here, and the two have signed a 4-point agreement on technical cooperation, trade, transit, and civil aviation. Nepal even agreed to provide Bangladesh with substantial energy from hydropower. It's a unique, quite interesting alliance that has only blossomed over the years. In
Nice.
conclusion, with Nepal, you get a mountainous, Hindu, Buddhist, unexpectedly kind of communist nation with the highest point on earth, but they sure know how to be down to earth. And speaking of down to earth, as in low elevation, stay tuned. The Netherlands is coming up next.
Okay, I don't know. I don't care about Netherlands because I don't know anything about it. Let's stop recording. It's not that I don't know anything about it. It's just that I don't react to its music, so it's not relevant to me like that. If I was going to watch, I might watch like Geography Now China and Geography Now Korea, Geography Now India, something like that. But I hope you enjoyed my reaction. I was a bit quiet the last few minutes because I was enjoying his little eyes. The way he put eyes on Nepal and on other countries was funny, and the way they bicker, it's kind of funny to me. So yeah, I hope you had fun with me. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave or give this video a thumbs down. If you really didn't enjoy it, just please be respectful of me and of other people in the comments down below. And yeah, tell me what you want me to react to next, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.